Heya, I'm Mary, and this is my third vlog in my hashtag fashion series where I am finding my look slash personal style. Big disclaimer, I am not a fashionista, fashion designer, makeup artist, hairstylist, or anything along those lines. I do not work within this industry. This is just me going on my journey and sharing it with the world. Come along with me as I go swim through confusion. The first vlog was talking about why I'm going on this journey, the psychology behind it, and fashion and what you wear. The second vlog was pretty long, so I apologize for that, but it was going through a ton of fashion rules slash tips, explaining them, how to apply them, applying them to myself, and then the final result and what I thought. So please do check those ones out. This third one is about shopping. And hopefully this will be something that you find interesting and also useful. It's certainly an experience. Now, I'm not used to dropping money, especially large amounts of money, on clothing. So this for me was, I wouldn't say traumatic, might be a little bit of a dramatic way of putting it, but it was an experience. So it was a little bit tough for me, but I learned a lot, and hopefully I can pass on some knowledge and maybe save you guys some money and trauma in the future too. And in the end, I'm actually pretty happy with the final result and what my wardrobe looks like. One thing I will say before I go into the different types of shopping and clothes I got is that often what you see online on Instagram and YouTube is not reflective of real life and can be actually very misleading. Some items of clothing may look amazing in an Instagram photo, but that could just be how the photo is posed, the lighting, even the editing of the photo. So that can be very misleading. Also, a lot of vloggers and people on YouTube, they get clothes for free, or they get discount codes, or they're sponsored by companies. And I know they always say, I'll always be real with you and honest, but the honest truth can be curated, and they're obviously not going to go and completely shit on the company throughout their vlog. So in the end, sometimes that stuff can be very misleading, and I was a little bit misled on occasion as well, so I thought that was worth putting into this vlog. Alright, I'll get into the different types of shopping and some pros and cons I found for them. The first type is online shopping at cheap fashion outlets. Now, I went shopping at a site called Shein, and this is a very cheap fashion site. Previously, I would do shopping on eBay, and eBay never let me down, but I was buying tights, and you can't really go wrong with tights because they stretch, and so this was a little bit more adventurous, and I was going for more fashion-y items. So here's the clothes and me styling them. So this first skirt right here, that is diarrhea color right there, matched with white. A little bit of a contrast between the toilet and what is within it. That's what we got going on here. Now you can see it styled with a jacket. Here we are. Here's the jacket. Let's hide that damn thing because it's ugly as shit, and I don't think I'm ever gonna wear it again. But yes, there we are. Shit. Irony. It's exactly what it looks like. Anyway, next outfit. Let's move on. Quick. Come on. Next out. Okay, here we are. This skirt is significantly better in the sense that it doesn't look like something that someone excreted. The color is far closer to the photo. Still inaccurate, but what you're gonna do? It's at least closer. And it is orangey. It's very bright and colorful. It's actually got this weird sponge material. So if it doesn't work out as a skirt, I can always use it in the kitchen for cleaning purposes. Oh yes, I forgot to mention the zipper broke. Anyway, here we are. I've styled it with a shirt over the broken zipper, so at least temporarily people don't know that the zipper is broken. All right, there we are. Beautiful. Next we have the interesting gray, green, yellow dress that doesn't have the same color as the photo yet again. Ooh, a trend. You know, the photos don't tell you what the color is. It's all one big surprise. Also, yes, the top there is styled for someone with a giant mono boob. I do not have a giant mono boob, which is a great disappointment to the designer of the dress, I am sure, which is why I decided to style it in such a fashion that I hide the top of the dress. I believe this is probably the only way of going about this that will work for me. I do like the satiny vibe. Like, I really like the material. It's shiny, it's sexy, it's very burn up on floor DJ Amber. Oh yes, so sexy. This next dress is the potato sack dress. It comes with buttons, advanced potato sack feature right there. Obviously the color does not look like the picture. It also doesn't stay in that nice triangular silhouette. It looks like a sack. That's because the material is very, very thin and just droops and kind of dies like a flower that's been watered with Coke. Okay, here we've got me trying to put a shirt underneath. I look like a school teacher that no one likes. That doesn't help at all. You can even see the shirt underneath. I suppose some would view that as a feature. I don't know. It looks even worse for me right there. What can you do? I mean, you can't polish a turd. And let's move on. Finally, we've got the last outfit. This is probably the nicest of the bunch, and it's the simplest. It's like an oversized t-shirt dress. Weirdly, the material is more of a dress, like really thin dress material rather than a t-shirt material, but at least it looks okay, comparatively speaking. The color is actually yellow. I paired the oversized dress with an oversized jacket to give the overall vibe of a toddler wearing their parents' clothing. So sexy, so attractive, yes. Now, as you can see, they don't look terrible. I would say in general, they look all right. There was a lot of hit and miss, and I think that's probably one of the big takeaways. If you're going to be shopping at a cheap online fashion store, it's not as cheap when you realize that half the things you're getting are not going to work at all. And that really is the big problem, at least for me, is that it is very hit and miss. A lot of the items look nothing like the photos, the material is often see-through, and in some cases that's okay. Like for example, if you're getting a shirt or a top that's sort of see-through, that's not a big catastrophe. Right now I'm wearing a singlet under my top and you can easily do that. A lot of people like sheer tops anyway, whereas if you're getting something that's kind of see-through like shorts, that's more problematic because you can't really fix that and it just doesn't look right. One of the other things is the material is almost always bad. So not only is it see-through, it's almost always polyester or some cheap plasticky fabric that can feel all right, but it can sometimes feel a bit weird. One of the skirts felt almost like spongy, like it was a sponge material that was used. I don't know. And sometimes the things that come can be a bit flimsy. I know I had to replace the zipper in one of the skirts. As you can see in the video, it was broken, but it is fixable. In the end, I recommend if you're doing cheap online fashion shopping to get things that are simple, that really can't go too wrong, not to get too complicated items, because although they might look cheap and like they're totally worth it, they may arrive and just be a complete catastrophe and they're very hard for you to fix. It's also worth noting that half the things you're going to get are probably not going to work out, so just prepare your heart for the heartache. The next category of shopping is thrifting. So let me show you some items I got at op shops. Here we go. This first skirt here has a bit of a checkerboard pattern going on with the misleadingly fake leather. You can potentially play a very small game of checkers with very few, I guess, checks if you so desire on my butt. Now here we've got a Liechtenstein comic print top. There's me trying to act like a comic book character. It looks like a shirt. It is accurately actually a shirt. Good job. The next item, can we get to it, is, yes, this stripy jacket that is see-through and completely ineffective as a jacket. Oh, it's very rock because it has some studs on it, because you know I am hardcore and punk like that. Yes, very, very punk. Look at this, you can even zip it up. Again, it's one of those features you expect from a jacket. Sometimes they don't come with it and it's a little bit weird, but this one comes with it. It just looks horrible when you zip it up, so you're better off not doing that. It's kind of like prisoner vibes. All right, there we go. We've got a hat. Now, I had to get this hat because I follow a cat on Instagram, and the hat literally looks like the cat. I'm wearing the cat on my head, and I'm very excited about this. Now, we've got my favorite item of clothing from the entire video, and this is a real leather jacket in orange. And if you've gone looking for a leather jacket, you know that nowadays all the leather jackets you get out there are frauds. They are all fake leather. They're all just pretending, but we know that they are not the real Slim Shady at all. The buttons are really hard to do up, so I can get some finger exercise in when I decide to wear this particular jacket. Look at the workout, such a workout. Oh, the strength in my fingers is growing by the second. Right there, right now. yes. Oh yes. Very good. As you can see, the quality, I would say, is a lot better with these items. There's actual proper quality fabric, there's proper leather in there, and in the end, I'd say the items are far more unique and cool, which I was very, very happy with. They're more expensive, and that's because I live in Australia. I know over in other countries like America, op shops are not that expensive. Here they are a little bit more expensive. Honestly, they can be more expensive than actual clothing stores here sometimes. I'm not sure why, but just how it is. Nonetheless, for the quality you're getting, I think it's very, very, very good value. Overall, I was very, very happy. The one caveat, and there's only one downside to thrifting, I would say, but it is big. The one caveat is time, and it takes an immense amount of time to find things. And I know a lot of people get energy from doing things like thrifting. I don't. For me, it drains my energy at super speed. And there's often a lot of mess. Things aren't organized properly. The coat hangers are so close together. You really have to push to get things apart so you can see what the clothing looks like. And it took me, honestly, an entire day just to find a couple of items. Half the op shops I go to, they have nothing I like. More than half of them, probably like 1 out of 5 of them have even one item that I like. So it's a little bit... It's time consuming, essentially, and I'm very time poor. Every hour I spend in a thrift shop is an hour I could spend practicing one of my instruments, and I feel like that's a better investment of my time. Anyway, that was the big caveat with that, and honestly, unfortunately, I think that's ruled out thrifting for me in general, unless I am on holiday or I have a day off and it's just happening to be nearby. So the third category is shopping at the mall, and shopping at the mall is probably what most people do. Honestly, I didn't do it too much just because I would buy online eBay tights and that was my clothing. But anyway, these are some of the items I found and how I style them. This first item is a white but kind of grey turtleneck. It has done some of the getting dirty in advance for you, so you don't have to go and get it dirty yourself. Such efficiency. And this next dress here is super tight. You can actually put it on top of the previous sweater. Who would have thunk it? Look at that. It's black and it looks like a dress. I look a little bit like a teacher in this one as well. Such teacher vibes. Who would have thought teaching is fashion? Alright, now we got a black Steve Jobs inspired turtleneck. If I decide to start a technology company, then I know what I'm going to be reaching for. This one right here. And just like the other one, you can actually put it underneath things. Here I'm putting it under a shirt, so you can put it under a dress, you can put it under a shirt, you can put it under other things like a, lawnmower, I suppose, if you want to start a fire. There's options. And this last dress is super, super comfortable. It's for those days where you wake up and you're like, I don't want to do anything. It's just a single item of clothing that goes on easily and looks kind of like you actually went to a little bit of an effort. Look at that, you can wear it with a jacket. Wow. So, versatility there too. It's minimal, but it's still there. As you can see, the items are pretty decent. I think they look pretty good. I ended up going for very basic items, and I think that honestly is my biggest advice, is if you're going to get stuff at the mall, that's probably the best idea, because those items are probably things I'm going to style with more complicated items or unique items and use over and over and over and over again. And it was worth getting at the mall because I could try them on and see that they really properly fit my body and flattered my body. So I think it's good for that. The prices are a lot higher than the two previous options, a lot higher than cheap online stores and a lot higher than thrifting, but the quality is far more consistent. Obviously, at thrift stores, half the things are falling apart. With the online cheap stores, half the things are see-through. With the malls, most of the time you're getting consistently decent quality. The fabric, though, I wouldn't say is amazing. A lot of the stores still use polyester or cheap fabric. And a lot of them, they sell very trendy clothes that'll go out of fashion. Another one of the big problems is that a lot of those clothes are mass produced and a lot of people are wearing them right now. So the chance of you running into someone wearing the same thing you are is pretty high. In fact, I'm pretty sure I saw at least one other person that had bought pretty much the same dress as me within the next couple of days afterwards. So that is worth bearing in mind as well. The fourth type of shopping is online shopping again, but this time at a more expensive store. I know different people have different ideas of what expensive is. For me, I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on a single item. So for some people, they may view my spending as still being cheap or mid-range, but for me, it was significantly more expensive. So I view this as more expensive online shopping, and I went to the website Dolls Kill for my clothes, which I went to because my wardrobe was so boring, and this site had a whole lot of clothes that looked more spicy. I wanted to spice up my wardrobe. They had the spice, they had the chili, they had everything I needed. So here are some of the clothes and the way I style them. First skirt that I bought is an indecisive red but also yellow plaid skirt for those days where you just don't know what you want to do with yourself. There's a kind of Harley Quinn vibe to it, so naturally I paired it with my Supergirl shirt to irritate people that are DC Comics fans. Yes, look at that irritation. I'm sure someone's twitching right now. This is one of my favorite items from the whole video too. It's got this fluffy kind of I'm pretending to be a fairy material to it, and it is stripy. You can wear it with pretty much anything because it's black and white, and that's always good. Being able to wear things with other things, tripping over, failing as a human. Good job, Mary, good job. This next skirt is versatile. It has zips on it that actually function. I mean, they're useless in essence because it's not like you're zipping anything up, but that they actually still zip. It's also got these weird kind of things hanging from the back for no reason whatsoever. Oh yes, and now we've got this plaid hoodie, which is super thin and actually has kind of a slit down the side of the arms to make it completely ineffective for giving you warmth. I quite like the color, obviously, because it's yellow, and I guess it's good to have something that's a bit more lightweight, I guess. I don't know, maybe. As you can see, the items are far more unique, and I really love that about them. They're also pretty on trend. They're pretty cool overall. So I was very happy with that. The quality is actually pretty decent. The items of clothing look pretty much the same as the photos online, which is great as well. So you don't have to worry as much as I did with the cheap online store, the cheap Shein online store. So in the end, I'd say it's not that much more expensive than the cheap store, just because with the cheap store, only half of the stuff is good anyway. So you can double the price of the stuff that was good, and it's not that different then in price to the more expensive store. But nonetheless, there are still caveats. First of all, obviously, the price is higher with the more expensive online shopping. The second thing that is shipping things back is difficult. So I'm in Australia, and oftentimes shipping something back from Australia is going to cost me an immense amount of money and just not make it worth it at all to return the clothing. For example, one of the skirts was a bit too big for me. Shipping it back would have cost me more than $30, and the skirt itself cost less than $30. So in the end, it was better for me to keep it. I ended up adjusting it, making it smaller, and it worked. But nonetheless, that is an issue. The other issue is that I don't know whether other people find this, but a lot of the fabric was a lot lighter than I expected. Perhaps this is a shipping thing as well, to make shipping more affordable for the company. But it makes it feel a bit cheaper. So even if it's better quality fabric, like it's cotton as opposed to polyester, it's still thinner than, say, the clothes you get at a thrift store. So there's some pros and cons there. Final thoughts. My final thoughts are the different shops all work for their different purposes. If you have enough time, honestly, I would say thrifting is the best option. You're going to get the best quality clothes for the best value. They're going to be more unique, but it's time consuming. So you really have to have the time. And I don't know how many of us do. So for me, that's kind of ruled it out for me. Even though I think it's the best option, it's still only going to be something I can do occasionally when I've got a spare, I don't know, holiday moment. But otherwise, it's too time consuming. Otherwise, so taking thrifting out of the equation, so amongst the other options, I would say when you're speaking about basics, if it's something you're going to wear over and over and over and over again and you want it to fit well, going to the mall is a great idea because you can try stuff on. You can also tailor it as well and do some sewing and make things fit you a little bit better too if you are more DIY like that. or you have a mum that's more DIY like that, like me. But I would say the mall is good for that. For simple items like crop tops and shirts and even certain dresses and things, I think cheaper online stores are okay. Just bear in mind, it is a bit hit and miss, and you have to be okay with the clothes being somewhat see-through because it's likely to, but I don't think they're a bad option. I don't think it's worth going to a more expensive online store or even a more expensive mall store and paying $50 for a crop top or even $20 for a crop top when you can get a crop top online at a cheaper online store for $5. When they're basically going to do the exact same thing. There isn't a huge discrepancy there. I would honestly say that in that situation, you're better off doing the cheaper online shopping. And if you're looking for more unique items, I think that's probably the next place. If you want to splurge on the basics and getting them properly fitted, and then splurge on the more unique items here and there, and then you can go to sites like Dolls Kill for those. Simple items, cheap stores. Complicated items, more expensive stores. And basics, try and get them to fit well. And for that, I think the mall or the tailor. So that's my final thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, I'm trying my best here to pass on whatever knowledge I gained. If you do the same, maybe I can learn from you. We can all learn from each other, save each other some money and also some time and some stress and trauma. It's been a hell of a journey for me. Like, you've only seen the tiniest little fraction of it, but this fashion journey has encompassed my life for the last month. Honestly, now I look at my wardrobe and I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll probably do one final vlog to wrap up this series, but it really did engulf my life and it's been quite a journey. Quite a journey. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this video and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, I would love for you to hit down that subscribe button and also the bell notification button so you can be notified in future when I put up videos. Also, I'd love to do a massive shout out for everyone who is a part of Ninja Club. Your support and encouragement is absolutely invaluable. Thank you so very much. If you're a fan of what I do, I encourage you to check out Ninja Club. There is a link at the top of the description box, and have a wonderful rest of your day. You rock all the Lego blocks.